We're doing Prince Madness again, guys. Which song do you think is gonna win this? Last year in May, I believe, I did a video called Prince Madness, and it was just like March Madness, where you had a big list of Prince songs. All of them went head to head, and you had to figure out what the final four were and who ended up winning in the end, which was the song that stood triumphant. I'll also put a link to the first Prince Madness, which was actually created by someone else, not me, that I found online. So go check that out. And if you want to do that one for fun, definitely do. And I'm also going to put a link, and this is a lot of links, to the brand new Prince Madness that I made for 2020. One thing that I wanted to do with this, though, was to balance it out a little bit more. I wanted to definitely have more songs from all of Prince's career on the list. And what I want to say up front is that I created the list of songs, but I randomized the pairings, which made this oh so difficult. And you're going to see why in just a minute. This video is going to be brackets 1 and 2. The next video will be 3 and 4, and the final results. Before we jump into it, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend puts out a new video. Also, don't forget to check out either our Patreon or consider becoming a YouTube member. Links for all of those also in the description. So I'm going to go bracket by bracket, pairing by pairing, until we get to the finals for each of the brackets. So let's look at bracket number 1. So the first one is Freaks on This Side versus My Love Is Forever. And that already is kind of, it's not a difficult choice for me. I definitely love Freaks on This Side, but I think My Love Is Forever has to end up winning that one. It's from his first album. I think it still holds really strong even today. And Freaks on This Side, while I have a personal attachment to it, I would say is not necessarily one of Prince's strongest songs. So I would give that one to My Love Is Forever. The next one, I wanted to punch the song randomizer because it was Housequake versus Dreamer. And I think these are both two like huge, powerful songs. One was more rock-centric, the other one more funk and dance-centric. And I don't know, I guess if any of you know me, I think you kind of can feel where I'm going to go with this. This one was a much harder choice than the first one, but I went ahead and went with Dreamer. Just the guitar riff on it, like Dreamer is just such a powerful song, and Housequake is a really amazing song, but I think Dreamer just has this, like, it just squeaks by, just by a hair. The next one is Pheromone versus Wonderful Ass. And I made sure Wonderful Ass was somewhere on here because I know a lot of people love that song, so I wanted to see. But if you put it against Pheromone, in my opinion, Pheromone wins. I think Pheromone just has that like really hard beat that's like, I mean, it's such a good beat that it's hard for me to like, I mean, I like Wonderful Ass, but I mean, I think Pheromone was by far like one of the best tracks off of Come. The next setup is Automatic versus Beautiful Strange. And Beautiful Strange for me was a good song. I think it's a really, like, it's a solid song. I do like it. I think Automatic, though, probably being one of my two like really favorite songs off of 1999. It's hard for me to go for just about any song and not pick Automatic. Like, Automatic is like so, it's Automatic that I would pick it. The next one is Temptation versus Undisputed. Undisputed being from Raven to the Joy Fantastic, and Temptation being from Around the World in a Day. Now, comparing the two, again, very different songs. I really love the unique beat on Undisputed. I love the inclusion of Chuck D on that track. But, I mean, Temptation, though. Temptation. I was actually just talking about Temptation, like, really big on my top 5 songs from Around the World in a Day. It's just like, that's an amazing song and has a little bit more rock edge to it than Undisputed did. So I ended up going with Temptation. Great song. These are already very hard. The next one is Cinnamon Girl versus 100 Miles Per Hour. And yes, I went ahead and included that song to represent originals. I tried to, again, have almost every album kind of represented here. And 100 Miles Per Hour is actually, it's a solid song. It was one that I hadn't really heard a ton before the originals, and I've listened to it quite a bit since the originals has come out. But my heart honestly just continuously goes out to Cinnamon Girl. I love that song. It's one where like after it's played, I immediately it's stuck in my head. Like I'm still singing it. It's one of those songs for me. So I really, really dig Cinnamon Girl. I would say Cinnamon Girl wins that one. The next one is Rock and Roll Love Affair versus Clouds. And okay, that's not as hard. Rock and Roll Love Affair, great song, but I think Clouds has to clinch that one. Clouds is just such like I don't know, it was like a weird mix of like ethereal sounds and I don't know, it was just super powerful, song about love, a song about connection, and yeah, so Clouds has to get that one. Rock and Roll Love Affair is great, but Clouds I think wins that one. And the last pairing of bracket number 1 is Electric Chair versus Old Friends for Sale. Now, Electric Chair, great song, very rocking, so you'd think, obviously, Eloy's gonna go for that one. But honestly, I think I'm gonna have to go with Old Friends for Sale. I think just the emotional kind of outpouring on Old Friends for Sale kind of puts it over the top over the fun that Electric Chair is, but I feel like Old Friends for Sale is just, it's a more powerful song. All right, so that was all of round 1 of bracket 1. Let's do round 2. First pairing of round 2 is My Love Is Forever versus Dreamer. I think in this case, it definitely has to be Dreamer. I love My Love Is Forever, or it wouldn't have won the last pairing. But I think Dreamer still at this point is a big song. Like it's gonna take a big one to kind of put it down. The next one is Pheromone versus Automatic. And this is kind of like a fight between really good beats. Because Automatic's beat is yeah, that's really good too. I think I'm gonna have to go with Automatic on this one. Again, it's kind of an automatic. The next one is Cinnamon Girl and Temptation. When I kind of look at these two songs, I have to shift away from like which one's more rock or whatever, and I kind of think of it as like, which one is the one that I like listen to more and I think stays with me longer? And I think that has to go to Cinnamon Girl. I freaking love that song. And the last pairing of round 2 is Clouds versus Old Friends for Sale. And as much as I love Old Friends for Sale, I think it's gonna have to be Clouds. I actually really like Clouds. Clouds is gonna win this one. Going into round 3, there's really only 2 matchings here. One is Dreamer versus Automatic. Tough one, really tough, but I think it's gonna have to be Automatic again. As much as I love Dreamer, Automatic, it's honestly, again, it was one of my very favorite songs from Prince's early career. It's really hard to get around how much I love that song. Then it's Cinnamon Girl versus Clouds. And I think from the Musicology album, Cinnamon Girl is just one of those songs that just sticks with me. So Cinnamon Girl wins, which makes the final pairing of round 4 for bracket 1, Automatic versus Cinnamon Girl. Automatic has to win it. It can't not win it. All right, so the winner of bracket 1 was Automatic. That was tough. That was a tough kind of go around. So I'm very excited to hear which song you guys ended up with, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on to bracket number 2 now. The first pairing of bracket number 2 is Right the Wrong versus Live for Love. I love how like the randomness of this list generation, it was like, oh, these are 2 3-word song titles. Let's put that next to each other. And honestly, I think like as good as Live for Love was, I think that, so here's the thing about my love of Right the Wrong, which is why I made sure it was on here. I love that song. It's a big political song. It was on my list of political songs if you want to go check out that top 10 list that I did. But so is Live for Love, which is so funny. But if I was gonna go like music style and whatnot, I'm actually gonna give that one to Right the Wrong because I really love that song. All right, the next one is Something in the Water Does Not Compute versus The Work Part 1. And again, it's just a bad pairing. It's too much work, honestly. I'm gonna give this one to Something in the Water. That would be my second favorite song off of 1999. It's one that Prince revisited several times in his career. I freaking love that song. And I love The Work Part 1. And if The Work Part 1 was put up against almost any other song, I think it might have won this. But I think against Something in the Water, it loses. Something in the Water is my choice for that pairing. Next is Bambi versus One of Us. And I don't know, for me, I like Bambi. Bambi's cool. It's a good song, good rock. It's off of his second album. That's great. But One of Us, even if it's a cover, I think it's just kind of catapulted kind of the artistry that Prince has. So I'm going to give that one to One of Us. The next one, oh gosh, the next pairing, Weekend Funk versus 3121. And this is the problem when you start comparing Prince songs. It is such a hard one, especially when you get two songs like this that are so funky. Again, this is all random, so I don't know how the randomizer knew what songs to put against each other, but 3121 versus Weekend Funk, like that's harsh. That's don't do that to me anymore. That's terrible. I think I'm going to give it to Weekend Funk. I think by a hair. I think the inclusion of George Clinton on there, I think is a big deal, and I think changes the scheme of it. If it was like 3121 versus an earlier version of Weekend Funk, no. But if I take into consideration my favorite version of it, which is the one with George Clinton off of Graffiti Bridge, it wins. So yeah, Weekend Funk. The next one is Dream Factory versus Forever in My Life. And that's an easy one for me. I love Dream Factory, but Forever in My Life, oh my God, great song. Love that song. Forever in My Life wins that one. That's an easy one. Dear Mr. Man versus Boom. Okay, all right. That's actually, I think that's one of the first times that like two later songs have been up against each other. So that's kind of wonderful. I think for me, Boom is actually really good. I love kind of the fun kind of descriptive wordplay Prince uses on Boom. But Dear Mr. Man, I mean, the simplicity of that song matched with kind of like the impact of that song and the political message, and I think I'm going to give that one to Dear Mr. Man. I think that one deserves the win over Boom, even though I'm a rock guy. Why am I giving it to the non-rock song? But still, anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next pairing is Empty Room versus Computer Blue. Computer Blue wins that one. Empty Room is a great song, kind of one of like his lesser known songs, but great song nonetheless. But Computer Blue, I mean, that's like one of my very favorite all-time Prince songs ever. So Computer Blue, obviously. And the last matching of bracket 2 is Moonbeam Levels versus Breakdown, The Breakdown. So yeah, The Breakdown, because that song is freaking amazing. I love The Breakdown. I love the sentimentality of it, how it raises and it keeps escalating and growing bigger and bigger. Moonbeam Levels is good too, but if I'm matching these two songs, I think the stronger one is definitely The Breakdown. So yeah, so round 1 was hell. Let's go into round 2. So we're going to go Something in the Water versus Right the Wrong. Something in the Water wins that one, as I like Right the Wrong, but I don't think it really kind of holds a candle to Something in the Water. I think it's going to be really hard to beat Something in the Water. Then we're going to do One of Us versus Weekend Funk. Oh gosh. It's a collaboration versus a cover. I think I'm going to give it to One of Us. Again, I think that cover, it took that song and it transformed it into something entirely different. And I think that Prince should be commended for that song. One of Us is amazing. So Forever in My Life versus Dear Mr. Man. Oh gosh. Forever in My Life, I think I'm going to give it to that. They're both minimalistic kind of songs. I think that the love in Forever in My Life, both, you know, the romantic and the religious love, I think is a stronger message than the political one of Dear Mr. Man. So I'm going to give it to Forever in My Life. Then the next one is Computer Blue versus The Breakdown. Yeah, oh my gosh. Without thinking, oh gosh, blah. Computer Blue. And here's why. It's epic, it's amazing. Computer Blue, it has to win. Round 3, okay, Something in the Water versus One of Us. You know, I said that it was going to take a lot to beat Something in the Water, and I think One of Us does that. I think One of Us does that kind of handily. So I'm going to give that one to One of Us, and probably people are yelling at me in the comments about that. But for me, no, definitely One of Us, definitely One of Us. The other one is Forever in My Life versus Computer Blue. Computer Blue, it's going to be so hard for me to have anything beat Computer Blue. If Computer Blue was matched up against one of the other songs in any, there are a lot of songs on here that I might have picked over Computer Blue, but the ones that it has ended up against, I think it beats them hands down. So I think Computer Blue beats Forever in My Life. The last round of bracket number 2 is One of Us versus Computer Blue. And I've been doing a big talk about One of Us. I think Computer Blue beats it. It's got epic screams, it's got the rock guitar, it's got the interlude, it's got the funk thrown in, and the hallway speech version. It's interesting that the last Prince Madness list had every song from Purple Rain on it except for Computer Blue. And then I throw Computer Blue on here and it's like sweeping the whole thing. And then the last pairing here is the winner of bracket 1 versus the winner of bracket 2. So Automatic versus Computer Blue. 2 of my all-time favorite Prince songs. I'm still gonna give it to Computer Blue. For me, it's like an epic. It's like the Odyssey. It's Prince's Odyssey where you're going in a million different directions and it just, oh my God, it's so amazing. Automatic actually does that some too. I think the rockingness of Computer Blue gives it the edge. I'm sorry. So that is my video for brackets 1 and bracket 2. I want to know which songs won in each bracket and which wins that fight on your lists. Let me know about all of that down in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. And otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video where we go over brackets 3 and 4.